When I went home to tell my father, he and Sarah supported them. Temi fell out of love with you, Temi, my father said. You should give them your blessings. Don't let bitterness eat you. I stared at him in disbelief. Just like you cheated on mommy, I snapped. You always justify betrayal when it suits you. We had the kind of shouting match that could wake the ancestors. He threatened to disown me if I didn't attend their wedding. I walked out. That day, I truly understood what loneliness meant. Growing up in Lagos, life was anything but ordinary. When I was just 7 years old, my world shattered in ways a child shouldn't have to understand. My name is Temilade, and I am 29 years old now. My father, Chief Adewale, was a well-respected man in our community in Lagos. My mother, Mrs. Tayo, was the quiet strength behind his success. But that didn't stop him from shattering our home when he cheated on her with a woman named Sarah. My father, Chief Adewale, a respected businessman in Lagos, had an affair with one of his junior staff, a fair-skinned woman named Sarah. Sarah was flashy, loud, and everything my mother wasn't. After the divorce, my mother relocated to Abuja and later remarried. All I knew growing up was what my father fed me, that my mother abandoned me. I carried that pain like a scar across my chest. At that time, I was too young to understand what betrayal meant, but I knew enough to feel abandoned. What made it worse? My father made sure I believed that my mother chose to leave me. She left, Temilade. She didn't even fight for you, he used to say. I believed him. What did I know? Sarah moved into our duplex 2 months after the ink dried on the divorce papers. She brought her own daughter, Omoumi, who everyone fondly called Mimi. She was just 5, 2 years younger than me, and for a while we were inseparable. When we were little, we were very close, sharing toys, foods, and even clothes. But once puberty struck, the dynamics changed. Mimi blossomed into everything I wasn't. Light-skinned like her mother, curvy, girly, and charismatic. I, on the other hand, stayed plain. I loved sports. I read books. I was the girl who wore glasses and loved sneakers that came top of my class. People told me I was beautiful, but I never felt seen. At least, not when Mimi was in the room. Everyone compared us. See how Mimi is glowing. Temi, you have to go and learn how to be a lady, you. Even our family friends started referring to me as the serious one, but not in a good way. My father, always chasing public perception, poured all his love and money into Mimi. Pageants, dance classes, fashion shows, anything to make her shine. I learned early that I had to work 10 times harder just to get crumbs of my father's attention. When I got into the University of Lagos with his scholarship, he threw me a small party, not because he was proud, but because extended family would be there. Well, I was the first in the family to do so. But even that night, Mimi stole the spotlight, dancing in her short Ankara dress, taking pictures like it was her party. It was in Unilag I met Temilade. He was kind, driven, and loved my ambition. He was in his final year when we met. Not long we started dating. He was my escape from chaos and my peaceful space. By our third year together, we were engaged but decided to wait until my NYSC was done before any wedding plan. One fateful day, the peaceful world I thought I had came shattering in my face. During semester break, I went to surprise Timmy at his apartment in Lekki, but the surprise was on me. I walked in on him and Mimi, half naked in my own fiancé's bed. The worst part, she looked me straight in the eyes and smirked, like she had won a prize. I screamed, I broke things, I sobbed like my lungs could escape. And Mimi, she stood there, calmly tying her wrapper. No apology, no shame. That's when I knew she was a snake. When I went home to tell my father, he and Sarah supported them. Temi fell out of love with you, Temi, my father said. You should give them your blessings. Don't let bitterness eat you. I stared at him in disbelief. Just like you cheated on mommy, I snapped. You always justify betrayal when it suits you. We had the kind of shouting match that could wake the ancestors. He threatened to disown me if I didn't attend their wedding. I walked out. That day, I truly understood what loneliness meant. Thank God for my friends. They helped me pick the pieces. One of them, Jumoke, insisted I see a therapist, which I did. At first, I planned to crash their wedding by wearing a white lace, but fate handed me something better. I bumped into Jay, Mimi's on and off ex. Jay, the rich boy from Victoria's Garden City, she used and dumped repeatedly. He was still angry, still licking wounds. Come with me to their wedding, I said, as my plus one. He didn't even hesitate. On that day, I wore a bright red lace gown with my necklace, and although I read somewhere that wearing red to someone's wedding means I slept with the groom, it turned heads. Mimi saw us together and her jaw dropped. She tried to maintain composure, but her eyes betrayed her. Rage, confusion, and regret. During my speech, I held the mic and smiled. Thank God I never had more sisters, or Timmy might have slept with all of them. He clearly has a type. Dead silence and awkward eye contact. My father walked up to me and took the mic. He told me to leave the wedding premises, which I and Jay did. I blocked all their numbers when I got home. Some weeks later, out of curiosity, I decided to look for my mother. I found my mother on Facebook. Her version of the past shattered my beliefs. She never abandoned me. My father used her past struggles with painkillers to win full custody and block visitation rights. She lived in Surulere with her new husband and two boys, my half-brothers. Reuniting with her was like breathing for the first time. Fast forward to 2 years later, I met Andy.